Okay, so today we're diving into Jamie Lynn Spears' memoir, Things I Should Have Said. This is her shot at telling a story that, let's be honest, most of us feel like we already know. But this time, it's from the one perspective we really haven't heard, her own. This quote right here, it's pretty much the key to the entire book. What Jamie Lynn is arguing is that this complicated, almost paradoxical idea, this unbreakable family bond no matter what, was the code they all lived by. It's the one rule, she says, ended up shaping every single major event in their lives. So to really get her side of things, she takes us all the way back to the beginning, to what it was like growing up as Spears in Louisiana, way before the whole world was watching. Right from the start, she paints this picture of living two totally different lives. On the surface, you had the public facade, this perfect, loving, successful Southern family. But behind closed doors, she describes a private reality that was filled with constant stress, all revolving around her father's struggles with alcoholism and the family's shaky financial situation. And that's where this mantra came from. We protect each other at all costs. It became their golden rule. In the book, she traces this back to her dad's own tough childhood, and she suggests that it created this powerful, almost suffocating need in him to keep the family safe. So it wasn't just about love. She frames it as this survival instinct that would end up having huge consequences for everyone. This quote, man, it just perfectly captures the kind of pressure cooker that Britney's incredible fame created. Jamie Lynn talks about how she was basically taught from a young age that her own feelings and needs had to come second. The family's entire world, their emotional stability, their financial security, it was all so wrapped up in Britney's career that, as she says, keeping her sister happy became everybody's number one job. All this family pressure keeps building and building until it finally leads to a huge crisis. But it's probably not the one you're thinking of. This is the moment she says completely derailed the path that everyone had planned out for her. Think about how fast this all happened. Her hit show Zoey 101 comes to an end, which is a big deal. Right after that, she goes through a breakup with her boyfriend. And then, at just 16 years old, while she's trying to figure out her next career move, she finds out she's pregnant. It was just this series of life-changing events, one right after another. The reaction she describes wasn't one of support, but of damage control. She says she was immediately pulled out of school, her phone was taken away, and she was basically hidden from everyone while her team tried to figure out how to handle the issue. The goal, as she writes it, wasn't to help her through it, but to control the story and stop what they saw as a career-ending disaster. And this is the choice she says she was faced with. According to the book, her family and her team laid out 3 options, and that was it. Number 1, abortion. Number 2, adoption. Or, number 3, a very clear warning that if she kept the baby, her career was over. From her point of view, none of these felt like a real choice at all. So after choosing to have her daughter, Maddie, she completely stepped out of the spotlight. This next part of the book is all about her journey to figure out who she was, not as a TV star, but as a mother and as an artist, completely on her own terms. And it definitely wasn't an easy road. She moved to Nashville to get into songwriting, which became a way for her to work through everything she'd been through. She also writes really openly about this period, about being diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and OCD. And eventually, she finds some real stability with her future husband, Jamie Watson, who she says just loved her for who she was, not because of her famous last name. So just when it seems like she's finally built this stable, happy life for herself, she's faced with what she describes as the ultimate test, an event that almost took everything away from her. She sets the scene, and it's just a completely normal day. Her daughter, Maddie, who was 8 at the time, was just having fun riding her new ATV near a pond on their property. Jamie Lynn was there, her husband was there, her stepfather was there. They were all just watching her. And then, in a split second, the absolute unthinkable happens. The ATV swerves to miss a ditch, and it flips over into the pond, trapping Maddie underneath. And as she writes in the book, life as we knew it came to a screeching halt. This number is just, it's horrifying. She says her husband later looked at his phone records and figured out that Maddie had been submerged underwater for 6.5 minutes before the paramedics were able to get a pulse. Her full recovery, she writes, was nothing less than an absolute miracle.
She really connects all of these moments, her childhood, her pregnancy, this terrifying accident, to what she feels is her mission now, to finally break the family cycle by using her own voice.
So she describes her whole adult life as this constant tug of war, being pulled between three huge forces. You've got that lifelong duty to protect the family. Then you've got her main identity as a mother. And then, right in the middle, this deep, urgent need to finally speak her truth after being told her whole life to stay quiet. Now, when it comes to her sister's conservatorship, which is obviously a huge topic, she explains her perspective from back when it was first put in place. She says, look, I was a 17-year-old with a newborn baby. I was totally powerless and removed from all the legal stuff. From where she was standing, she says she understood that her family truly believed it was the only way to protect Britney during a really bad crisis. And to try and show just how complicated and tangled their relationship really is, she includes this text message that she says she got from Britney. It just highlights the deep, messy, and often contradictory feelings between them, far away from all the public drama. And this quote, this is really her final declaration. It's her thesis. She's basically saying that this memoir, the book itself, is her drawn a line in the sand. It's her attempt to finally break that family pattern of secrets and silence. For her, writing this book is the action. The book definitely makes a strong case for speaking out. But it leaves all of us with this big, lingering question. In a family that is this famous, this public, can one person's truth ever really be enough to break the cycle? That's all for this explainer. Thanks for tuning in.